Where you live has a huge influence on your skin's health and appearance, says Jessica Wu, MD, assistant clinical professor of dermatology at the University of California and a dermatologist in Los Angeles. While most of us wouldn't move to another state just for the sake of our skin, you can reduce your odds of skin cancer and premature aging by taking more precautions if you live in a high-risk area. To find out which cities in the U.S. are most likely to have citizens with troubled skin, we analyzed data like dermatologists per capita, skin cancer rates, climate statistics, healthy lifestyle indicators, and more. Read on to find out how the 10 worst cities for your skin earned their spots. Tulsa rounds out the list of the top 10 of the worst cities for your skin because it has the highest skin cancer death rate in the country with 4.1 deaths per 100,000 people, according to the National Cancer Institute. Moreover, the people of Tulsa fall short on exercise. According to the Centers for Disease Control, only about 25% of adults in the city engage in vigorous physical activity for more than 20 minutes 3 times a week. In Tulsa, the sun can be pretty intense until 5 p.m. during the summer, says Melissa Morgan, MD, a dermatologist in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Dr. Morgan theorizes that the high skin cancer death rate may be due to lack of information about the way suspicious skin lesions behave and what they look like. If sun exposure cannot be avoided, seek shade at every opportunity, apply sunscreen, and wear sun protective clothing, she advises. Morgan also warns that baseball caps leave ears, the tip of the nose, and lips dangerously exposed, and can't be counted on to offer complete protection. The Fort Worth area has a high number of tanning beds, though one could argue that even one is too many. There's one on every corner. The tanning industry has a foothold in the city, and the whole culture makes women, especially younger women, feel that they need to have a tan all year round, says Lisa Garner, MD, clinical professor of dermatology at the University of Texas Southwestern Medical School in Dallas and a dermatologist in Garland, Texas. To limit the damaging habit, a law was passed in 2009 to block the access of tanning beds for minors under the age of 16. A lot of people still use them, especially college women, and I even have patients who are over 50 or 60 who still use them, Dr. Garner explains. There are studies to indicate that it's an addictive behavior. Add to this, the intense sun during the long summers and a low number of dermatologists per capita, and you have our 9th worst city for the skin. Aside from any necessary damage control, Garner cautions her patients to prevent burns in the first place by avoiding the hot Texas sun all year round during the times of day when your shadow is shorter than you are. In the winter time, you can still get a large dose of UVA rays, which we believe is more responsible for the development of melanoma than UVB rays, says Garner. UVA rays are also the main source of radiation in tanning beds. According to data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Memphis has the least physically active population in the United States, a finding that has been corroborated in other studies. The city also has a low dermatologist per capita rate, at 3 dermatologists per 100,000 people. Memphis has been underserved by dermatologists, and it takes too long to see one if you don't already have one, says Michael Schneider, MD, a dermatologist in Germantown, Tennessee. The area is known to have a high heat and UV index with oppressive humidity during the long summers. Despite the ranking, Dr. Schneider sees a bright side. From my observation, I think the 30-somethings and younger crowd know the importance of physical exercise and sun protection, he says. It's awfully hard to break bad habits for the older crowd. For Memphis residents of all ages, as well as those who live in other mid-southern cities, Schneider stresses the importance of reapplying broad-spectrum SPF 30 sunscreen every 2 hours. We just sweat it right off, he says. Additionally, he suggests wearing very light sun protective clothing, when possible and affordable. Charlotte is one of the worst cities for the skin on our list because of its high ozone and pollution levels, with 26.2 high ozone days out of the year. The American Lung Association also ranked Charlotte as the 10th worst city for ozone pollution in the U.S. in 2010. Why is it so polluted? It may have something to do with the lack of airflow in the city on the hottest days of the year, which can be related to its geographic location, in the middle between the Appalachian Mountains and the Atlantic Ocean. Coal-powered plants might also play a factor, as well as population growth. However, the smog should not hinder residents from being proactive about their skin care. Ozone and pollution levels have an effect on the skin, but the most damaging risk factor is sun exposure, says Elizabeth Roston, MD, owner and director of Charlotte Skin and Laser in Charlotte. Roston believes that for the most part, Charlotte's residents know what's good and bad for their skin health, and that the city is actually a great place for the skin, despite our ranking. We have great dermatologists in the area and excellent access to them. We have a health-conscious population, and we don't see a lot of smokers.